Welcome back to the show. Local farmers markets are brimming with colorful produce right now, just begging to be eaten. I recently talked with Farmer Lee Jones, best known for his overalls, his bow tie, and passion for locally grown food. He's also the author of this beautiful book, The Chef's Garden, a cookbook and vegetable guide. Jones knows a thing or two about produce. All right, well, Farmer Lee, I am so excited to talk to you. This book that you've put together here, it's gigantic and it's beautiful. I love all the information. You are passionate about growing produce, and you believe it's important for us to understand the veggie growth process as well as the travel history, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it was a team of us here. Chef Jamie Simpson put endless hours in and putting the recipes together. It's certainly not one you're going to put in your backpack and take to the market, but whatever you find at the market, you can come back and it'll be in the book. But yes, travel, I think it's really about the nutritional density of the vegetables. From 1920 to 2020, the nutritional level in vegetables has gone down 50 to 80%. And part of that occurs with the way that we're growing, 4 tons per acre. But the other part is the amount of time something's harvested. So anytime we can get vegetables at the local farmers market, and in Seattle, you've got Pikes Peak and you've got some amazing farmers markets out there, and even the grocery stores. So there's really a plethora of things to choose from right in your community there. And to be able to get those as close to where they've been grown is always helpful because the nutritional levels are better.
Yeah, and you know that it's been picked right at the right time. It didn't have to get picked early to be taken somewhere. So important. Now let's talk veggies. Best veggies for the summer season and why?
I really like for people to go to the farmer's market without a list and sort of be able to let the walk through the garden at the farmer's market really dictate what you're going to do that day, because in any given day, the farmers are picking what looks the very best on that day, and they're going to bring it in when it's ripe and juicy and perfect. And if you can really let the summer season dictate what you're going to go with, you just can't go wrong. But there's so many wonderful things to choose from. And if you can sort of let Mother Nature dictate that menu for the day, it's really kind of an exciting way to do it.
I actually think that you've just answered a conundrum I've had in my head, because I have a farmer's market literally in walking distance from me. And I've always thought, well, I don't have my list together. You're right. I should just be walking around picking up what looks good and then making dinner off of that.
Absolutely. Sometimes we get stuck because we say, gee, I really want asparagus. Well, the asparagus season is over. And now you're kind of disappointed. But if you go and you can even, a lot of times the farmers will even let you taste. They want you to taste because it's so delicious. Yes. And then, boom, that's what I'm going to have. One of the beautiful things about grilling is with all the heat that we have, back in the old days on the farms, we all had what we called a summer kitchen. It was outside because you didn't want to use the stove in the house and it heated the house up. So if you can grill off the vegetables, a lot of these vegetables are so delicious, chilled. So you can cook them early in the morning and grill them off and put them in your fridge and then eat them later in the day when it's hot. And I love grilled, chilled veggies in the summertime. It's just a fun way to do it.
That is, I am getting so much great information from you, Farmer Lee. I do have a quick question though. What is so different about farmers market vegetables, homegrown versus, grocery store, even some of the best grocery stores?
Well, of course, and you kind of alluded to that too a little bit. Anytime you can get something that's picked closer to the proximity, it's better. We actually rebuild the soils. We're kind of really based around regenerative agriculture. And I think a lot of the small farms are too. But we're really planting clover, buckwheat, alfalfa, different types of cover crops into the ground. And then when we plant these amazing vegetables into them, they can pick that nutrition up. So it's a way to do it naturally rather than chemically or synthetically.
And so they're getting more nutrition. So the vegetables are more nutritious?
Absolutely. We're actually doing this video today or TV presentation in a lab where we're testing the nutritional levels. We're seeing some numbers as high as 300 to 500% above the USDA average. It really works. Okay. Mother Nature designed a system far superior than the chemicals and synthetics.
You're blowing my mind today. I tell you what. By the way, before we get on past it, but I have to ask you, what are your favorite veggies to grill and then chill in the summer?
Well, I'm going to kind of throw it back and say whatever you love, but there's so many. I think that, the onions, I think that the baby squash and the carrots even, I think it's such an underrated thing as the grill. Even the fruits, the cantaloupes and the peaches can be a lot of fun too. It's just what can't you use on the grill? And a little bit of olive oil, a little cracked salt, and away you go. And for our environment, it's really critical that we start and move towards a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
And it's so much better for the environment and better for us.
Yeah, you're inspiring me to like build a raised bed garden in my backyard right now. So if I do this, given that we live in the Pacific Northwest, what are some of the best veggies that we can grow in our garden, also to save money?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would focus it more around how you can build your health and wellness. But you guys are in more of a cool weather climate there. I would plant the things that tolerate and like the cool temperatures, the broccolis, the cauliflowers, the spinaches, the kales, the lettuces, the radishes. There's so many things that you can plant. The things that are going to maybe take a little more heat and a little bit more light and more time, maybe shy away from those and really focus on those cool weather crops. And you can't go wrong.
And I really loved his enthusiasm for produce and the whole tips to grill and chill. And then I tried what he said about going to the farmer's market without a list. So I went to my farmer's market and I found a lot of amazing things, but I found these incredible strawberries and they were so good. And when they started to get a little mushy, I actually just muddled them and made strawberry lemonade for the whole family and they loved it. And maybe I put a little vodka in mine, but that's okay. It was delicious. Those strawberries were so much better than I could imagine. They were almost like purple. They were so red. Unbelievable.